Hello. Now that we've all had a chance to set up an account with Genially, I thought the easiest way would be for us to work together to create an interactive image. And I'll show you all the steps and share my screen as I'm doing that. You are welcome to unmute yourself and ask a question at any point. If you'd rather leave it in the chat, I will try to monitor the chat as we're going through this too to answer any questions, but don't hesitate to stop if you have a question. So what you're seeing now is my Genially account. We are going to start and create a new Genially creation. Okay, so from this screen, you have a choice of which type of creation you want to make. For our purposes today, we are going to make an interactive image. Now, in the video that we watched in the beginning, the person demonstrated making a creation using a template. You don't. You can style this from a blank page, and it's really not that difficult. So that's what I'm going to show you how to do, an interactive image with your own choice of template. So the first thing that we're going to want to do is to drop the base image from an image that we've saved on our computer. I'm going to select that image and accept it. From here, you can crop it to include as much or as little of the image as you'd like. When you have it where you want it, click accept. Okay, so when you start out without a template, it's going to add some icons for you. If you don't want them, just click on them and delete. So you're starting fresh. Okay, so you can see we have a base image and I have a beach here because I'm sure at this point we're all very ready for summer. So I'm going to show you how to add a few things to this base image. Okay, if you want it to add text, you can add a title. Okay, variety of choices of size, and you can make further adjustments later. And then there are some pre-made types of titles below that you can choose from if there's something there that you like. For our purposes, I'm just going to pick the very large title. It'll place it in the middle. And it will start with black, but we can certainly change the color and the font and the size even. So for our purposes, I'm just going to call this sample image. Okay, now if I want it all in one straight row, I'm just going to grab this part of the box, stretch it out, and there we have it. If I want to change the color, going to see right up here is this little icon is giving me the color. It is black. We can change it to any color that we would like, preferably something that's going to show up well on our background. Don't like that too much. Maybe that's a little bit better. And if there's not a recent color here that you like, you can certainly scroll through the variety of colors using this slider. But I think I'll stay with that first orange color. Now I don't like that where that is, so I'm going to click on it again till I get that little plus sign. I can move it wherever I might want that. Okay, so once this title area is clicked, you can see that there's a variety of icons up here where you can add additional animation and so forth. So this little button is for interactivity. We're not going to connect our title to anything. And this little button will give you animation options, either entrance, exit, continuous, or if you want it to do something when they hold the mouse over that. So for a title, I'm just going to do an entrance and maybe I'll have it bounce in. Okay. So once I've added that, I can click back here. Other things that I can add to this image to make it interactive. If we look over on our slide profile, after text, you also have the ability to add other images. If you wanted to add additional images to the base image, there are resources where you have the availability to add icons or shapes, charts, lines and arrows. There's some illustrated characters that you can add, and even scenes. Possibility to add maps or silhouettes. All that you would need to do is any of these items that you thought was cool and wanted to add. Going to click on it. Oops. Got to. And it will show up right on your base image. You grab it and move it anywhere you want it to. From this illustration, again, you can add some interactivity to it or some animation to it. Okay. The next section gives you some options for adding buttons or buttons with text, markers, or social media options, and even numbers. Okay, so these would be items that you'd want to use for adding interactivity. So let's just take a look at the buttons. If you click on the plus, you get the whole array of buttons here. And don't worry, if you don't like the colors, you can certainly change them. All right, so let's say on our sample interactive image, we want it to add a video. Okay, so it's going to give me the video icon. When you click on it on the left, it'll pop up on your screen. You have the ability to move it anywhere you want in your image. You can also grab a corner and make it bigger or smaller, as you may like. Up at the top bar here, you can change the color again to any color that you might want that to be. So let's say I want to change it to green. Okay, so let's say that I want to connect this to a video. Okay, I'm going to click my interactivity. When you hit interactivity, you are able to have 4 choices of things, as it said in our video, to add. To add a video, we are going to add a link. We'll paste that link there. You can have it open up in a new tab, or you can replace the Genially tab. Most of the time, you're going to want to open it up in a new tab. Okay, so now this button is associated with that video. Again, here, if you want to add animation, you certainly could. Oftentimes on buttons, I will add a continuous animation with something like a pulse so that it catches the viewer's attention. So we've added an illustration, we've added an interactive element, we've added title. The next category is smart blocks, where you can add a variety of charts if you are interested and edit them for your own purposes. There is also a place where you can link things right from your computer. So audio is unfortunately part of the premium. Adding an MP3 that you already have recorded as part of a premium option, which I don't have the premium. Genially certainly can get around this by clicking for a recording. So play whatever music or background sound effect, click the recording, and then you can paste that into the image. So let me just say, this is a test recording that I'm going to add to my sample Genially image. When I'm done, click stop, and that audio clip will be right there. So it's going to show up right on my page, but I have some options that you can see. On the right here, I may want it to automatically play as soon as this image is opened. Okay. I may want it to continuously play, replete. That is an option. I may want to hide this from my audience, so they're not going to see that right smack dab in the middle of our picture. And you can also move it up out of the way too. And then if I wanted this, if I was doing a series of slides and wanted to play through all of them, I would click this button. You can test your audio here. This is a test recording that I'm going to add to my sample. And that should be good to go. Final thing is there is the background piece where, say I decided I didn't like this beach image anymore, I could change it. And then the final portion is a place where you could add multiple pages if you wanted a thorough presentation rather than just an interactive image. That's all there is to that. I hope that explained it very well for you, but we're going to take some time now for you to try out one on your own, either using a template or starting with a blank image. And I will be here to help you with any questions as they come up. Please don't hesitate to ask.